Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road across from Rufino's. Welcome to the Monday edition, Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Troy Macker with us today. No Max Gotro with us today. He's a jury duty. I think he would have rather come to work today. But you know, the duties of being a citizen. So good for Citizen Max. He'll be back with us.
He's a good citizen?
Yeah, he's a good citizen.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Okay.
It's debatable, Charlie. It's interpretational.
A lot of things are, huh?
I thought he was a good citizen for about 6 weeks, but, you know, things have changed.
And what exactly?
Well, they put him next to me, and there was no contest. I was a tiebreaker.
Okay. Well, once you got head-to-head?
You got out the way.
Okay.
You kind of in between.
Got you.
Yeah, you got smoked by the Red Raiders. You got gunned up.
I understand. I understand. Moved them out. So a lot has happened.
Told us it was coming, huh?
Yeah. The foreshadowing was very easy to see. You know what in my opinion, what the biggest problem with the playoff, how the playoff bracket is determined, is not what we ended up with. It's the angst that they are going through with all of the weeks leading up to it. Like if you Notre Dame and Miami.
Wait, let's take the emotion out of it. And look, we want to kick Notre Dame when they're down. Say, you'll hear you privileged characters, but if this was next year, they're in because of their stipulation. So I mean, it's your last chance for the rest of college football to kind of like, oh no, okay, this is coming, but I mean, it's just that if you think you're going to take away, oh, no, they're joining the conference now and they have no more special well, it's in writing for next year.
Yeah, that if they're top 12, that they're ranked in the top 12, they get in. If next year even looks like this.
Because your top 10 got in this year.
You might have
two.
You might have 14 teams in next year. You might have 16.
Right,
you know?
but your top 10 got in this year.
Right.
So you're giving a buffer zone for them next year if it stays, at the 12.
Most of the angst comes from that 5 weeks ago, Notre Dame and Miami had the same record. And Notre Dame was 8 spots ahead of the Hurricanes in that week's rankings 5 weeks ago, okay? They each played 4 games in the meantime. They each won all 4 games. Notre Dame won their games by a greater average margin of victory than Miami did by, I think it was 9 points. And so they're saying, what happened in these 4 weeks that we dropped 9 spots? You know, if you thought a month ago that we were 8 spots better than –
What do you mean dropped?
Well, they were 8 ahead of Miami.
No, but they didn't drop.
Well,
Miami gained. Well, that's different. Teams in between them lost.
Okay, fine.
And they won.
But they had –
And the teams ahead of Notre Dame didn't lose as bad when Miami's playing nobody. I mean, Notre Dame's playing nobody.
If they hadn't released those standings –
no, of course. Yeah, if you just came out yesterday.
You looked at it?
No, they led them. They led them on.
That's, I think, where the real
I'm like,
anger's coming from.
He told us last week, not on the show, because they're compromised for time for Reese Davis and that crew. So on the teleconference, he said, yes, if they are next to each other in the rankings, you could see only BYU's there. BYU's a double-digit dog. They're expected to lose. They did. So the chances were pretty good with them not playing that they would be next to each other. And said, yes, head-to-head would count more. Well, why then? So 2 apart? 2 apart it doesn't count? Of course it does. I think they blew it on this week. And what is Notre Dame's strength? The strength is they were big, but they destroyed weaker competition. And maybe one of their biggest wins was what? Late in the season.
Yeah.
Well, no. Do you know what it was?
Notre Dame's big Pitt.
One of the biggest, more impressive wins late in the season.
Pitt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Miami went there really close after, same place, even tougher conditions because it was much colder for a southern Florida team. It matched their dominance.
Right.
That's when they should have moved them. That's when they should because wait a minute, because what's Notre Dame's strength? It's not the teams they beat. No,
it's the quality of
it's
the
how,
two losses.
It's how dominant they were against weaker competition.
And their two losses were to very good teams, okay? But them and Miami played.
Yes, and they have the strength of schedule is exact.
Yeah.
Okay? They played each other, okay? Which it shouldn't mean everything, but when it's this close, it's obvious it should mean something.
It is the
tiebreaker,
sure.
And do you care about the quality of non-conference? I know this is other things, but when everything's close, should you encourage teams to schedule more non-conference games? That helps everybody.
Okay, you and I feel the same way about the non-conference schedule.
Oh, it's going to take a hit.
But no, it is. But if I'm I've got a hard time criticizing Notre Dame for putting this schedule together the way they did. They have 6 ACC games, okay, and those
the
6
weakest league there is.
I get it, okay.
Okay, so you chose that. You think the SEC would turn them down? You want to play Big Ten would turn 6 Big Ten teams would turn them down?
But you also ended up with 3 teams that were at the absolute bottom in Stanford, Syracuse, and Boston College. Then you had 6 other games to schedule.
Probably those are not traditional powers.
I get it, Jimmy, but they got into this league. It is a power league. It was crap this year.
It's not a power league.
It's a Power 4 league.
It's not by
definition.
Yeah, but okay. Reality. You chose the weakest conference areas. Come on, man.
Then they went out and scheduled 2 SEC teams, 2 Big Ten teams, and one of the SEC teams and one of the Big Ten teams that they scheduled finished last. Neither Arkansas nor Purdue won a league game this year.
Well, 5 years ago, what did you think Arkansas was going to finish if you added Texas and Oklahoma? 13-16?
I didn't feel like they would finish
13-16.
I think that they would have probably 0-8. I think that they would have probably finished like 3-5 or 2-6, something like that.
Okay, what do you think about moving forward? If you that confident about Arkansas's future?
Well,
no, it's not.
If I'm going to schedule Texas A&M, who was a preseason top 15 team, then I don't want to schedule Georgia too. I'm going to schedule somebody at the
wash. A&M was better than they thought, and Arkansas was worse.
Okay,
you don't get any credit for that.
You scheduled 2 SEC teams. It's not like they went out and scheduled Southeastern.
It's not Alabama and Florida. It's not LSU and Texas. It's not Oklahoma and Auburn.
You scheduled USC, who was a top 20 team. You scheduled.
And that's
Miami was out of
their top 20 team.
And then Purdue was lousy this year.
Purdue's going to be lousy.
And then your 2 non-Power 4 teams are Navy and Boise State, who are better than the FCS schools.
No, this was weak with a chance to be weaker. You chose the weakest ACC, the weakest league of the Power. It's such a drop-off from
going
the
to
others.
the ACC rather than the Big Ten. I'm not going to argue the fact that the Big Ten is better.
Of course it is. In the Big Ten, even though it's geographically disrupted, there's more than 6 teams, which it makes it more feasible to play. There's traditional series within the Big Ten. Michigan State.
They could have played
if you play Michigan State, we'll throw in Purdue too. We'll let you go at BC, but you can't dodge Michigan, which they did. They did. They dropped them. That was forever. I grew up with that. That was an early season, high profile, great non-conference matchup. One that you look forward to.
Yes.
So
did it not replace that with Texas A&M?
That's fair. But then you get the weakest team in the SEC, Arkansas.
And I didn't think that they would be, but okay. I didn't expect them to finish in the top half either. Okay.
Charlie, we have to agree on this. A&M was better. Arkansas was worse.
Yes.
And not by any stretch more. That works out. A&M and Arkansas is not exactly the strongest pair you could pull out of the SEC. Give me Tennessee and Kentucky. I mean, come on, man. That's not – no.
Tennessee and Kentucky might have been worse because A&M was a lot better than Tennessee. Kentucky was only a little bit better than Arkansas, but we're splitting hairs here.
No, I'm not. That's you. A&M was what preseason?
10, 12, something like that.
Oh no, you better go down about 15 or so.
Were they that far? That I don't remember, to be honest with you. I can look it up here real quick. They were expected to be pretty good.
Yeah, okay. In Arkansas, no. You knew this was your boys.
A&M was 19, preseason 19.
19 and unranked. out of a league that has how many teams in the top 20 every week?
Tennessee was 24 and Kentucky wasn't ranked. But anyway, I don't have any sympathy for Notre Dame not joining a league and now having this problem that they think that the ACC pushed Miami instead of them. Now that's you made your bed there. Now you got to lie in it, okay? You didn't want to be a full participant, so you're not. So what did you expect the league to do? Go for a full member, or push for a full member, or push for a partial member?
Charlie, there are a lot of uncertainties when you schedule because you have to do it in advance. But there's a chance with this approach. And next year, I mean, what's their schedule look like next year?
It's very similar. They change out Wisconsin for one of the SEC teams, and they change out Boise
State. What
SEC
for team
Rice.
Are they playing? They're playing Alabama. They're playing Georgia.
Somebody
playing,
sent me this a little while
and
ago.
They played Georgia in the past.
They did play a home and home with
but
Georgia.
not when they were at their strongest.
No, it wasn't. Let's see. Michigan State they play next year.
There you go. Coaching change.
Wisconsin, Michigan State. They keep Purdue, and
after we see that Michigan State is no longer the team
USA.
that really gave them all that they could handle.
Now, all that said, I think Alabama and Miami should have got in over them. Okay, we talked about why Miami. The resumes were similar. They beat them on the field. Alabama, I realize, lost an extra game, but they had to play an extra game. But Notre Dame can't match wins against Georgia in Athens, against Vanderbilt, against Tennessee, against Missouri. They don't have those wins on their resume. I had no problem. It makes me sick to my stomach. I got to defend Alabama, but I can't.
Let's be fair.
I can't overlook
Alabama's resume is better than Notre Dame.
Yes, the wins. Okay, I'm not going to ding them. I know how they lost to Georgia, but they've already beaten that team. Losing Oklahoma, that's a playoff team. It really comes down to the big, ugly splotch on Alabama's resume is the season opener. Mm-hmm. You lost to a team that ended up with a losing record. But I'm going to have the wins overtake that, okay? They have the worst loss out of this group, but they've got the far better wins.
And they played more highly rated teams.
Yes, they did.
But the schedule was tougher.
And
considerably.
Look, and some of the two teams that were supposed to be good, okay? LSU was supposed to be good. South Carolina was supposed to be good, and neither one of them were. They beat both of those teams, too.
You know, you could say LSU, and LSU lost to 3 playoff teams on the road by 1 score. Well, no, Alabama was 1 score in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma's 1-score game. Ole Miss 1-score game. And Alabama, so that weren't – it's still – that's a roster that's capable of beating you. Yeah. They played so many rosters that on their worst day and on the opponent's best day cannot beat you.
So overall, what do you give the committee in this?
I'd give the committee for the final result an A. I give the committee for their execution and their path here an F.
Because of all of the rankings the previous weeks.
And we heard some rumblings at that show because it's non-win. And I watched the show. In some weeks, he'd say, quality of losses. Yeah. Notre Dame's got better quality of losses. Miami doesn't. And then they went to quality wins.
They contradict themselves all the time.
When it was talk about Vandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you pick and choose the criteria depending on which case and which comparison.
And I don't know if that's avoidable with this many different scenarios.
You have to look at everything. You have to look at the quality wins. You have to look at the quality losses. You have to look at how dominant they are. You have to look at everything.
And how about we wait till the end of the season
but
to
still,
look at all
the resume should count more than, no, I think this team's better. The resume should be. But we've seen where it's not. We see Alabama, Florida State, but Alabama gave you way better game than Florida State could against the eventual national champion Michigan. So you've got that influence from the people that are paying the freight. Follow the gold. I mean, who has the gold? It makes the rules.
I've said that a million times. They should go off of what they have done, not what they think they are going to do.
And so now they kick the can. So now they see 2 Group of 5 teams. Oh, they ain't getting multiple Group of 5 teams. This is that. This is it.
I hope so.
I mean, your overall product. You're going to get better. You're going to get better TV ratings for James Madison or Notre Dame. That's
not even close.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's nice to keep the Group of 5s and have them a car and have them something to play for.
One team.
And both of them are lopsided. It's not basketball though. It's just not. No, you can't get hot from the 5'11", kid from the the Catholic League, you just can't get hot from the like the kid from Boston College did against LSU.
I'd rather see Notre Dame in that spot. I'd rather see Vanderbilt in that spot. I'd rather see Texas in that spot. I'd rather see BYU in that spot. I'd even rather see Duke in that spot and all 5 losses than James Madison.
There's a lot to interpret. I'll tell you this. I was shocked how many, on our show as well, this is it for the conference championship games. See, I didn't interpret that way. No, they protected the participants of the conference championship games 2 years in a row.
The SEC.
SMU.
Oh, and SMU.
2 years in a row.
They
did not protect SMU last year?
They did. Yes, they did. They didn't protect BYU this year, though.
BYU's schedule it's not. You think their overall resume was worthy of being in there?
I don't. But if they would have been 11-1 and we'd have done this last week, they would have been in the top 12.
That is true. That is true. So, but the games were. You don't know anything. What do I want? I want high quality. I want quality comfort. College football games. Those were quality college. Bama laid an egg. Their offensive line took the night off. Yeah. Okay, but still, there were still athletes on that field playing, bro, and that was worthy. You didn't turn it off. I can promise you that.
It was so bad they fired the offensive line coach before the playoff game.
Oh, they did?
At Alabama, yeah, they fired him this morning.
Oh, they're a little reactionary over there.
A little bit hot.
Just a tad. Yeah. But I think they protected. I think they, gave them a free swing for the most part, and rightfully so. I mean, if the top 2 teams in your standings in the SEC, dude, those teams got to be in the top 12. I mean, unless you pulled the Duke and lost 3 non-conference games. And guess what? That ain't happening with the scheduling. That's about to happen. So we're live here. Chris, look at the holiday baskets, Charlie.
Looks good.
Holiday baskets. It's easy shopping this time of the year. You don't know. Everybody likes to eat. Everybody likes to drink. Kind of a little combination of 2. Out of town people on your people coming in that are visiting. Man, get them a Chris's a gift basket for the holiday season. So we could take some of the ones that are made. We could kind of throw one together for you. The things if you want to kind of create your own type of basket. But man, we are settling from the storm of Thanksgiving. Man, here in the Millerville location, we're swamped with smoked and fried turkey orders for the holiday season. That Wednesday, that Thanksgiving Eve, was busy, but it's just a little small exhale and then right back at it. So make your orders now to ship. We can ship nationwide. So you could ship a turducken. You could ship some of the sides. You could that smoked cabbage, man. That cabbage is good. It's got a beautiful seasoning to it. I killed it during Thanksgiving. But the macaroni and cheese and the green bean casserole, the rice dressing. So I had a friend that was in over here today getting rice dressing. He's taking with him to the Colorado area because they have that. So, they're looking for that type of food. So you're traveling or you got people traveling here for the holiday season, man, stock up over here at Chris's Specialty Meats on Highland, right across from Rufino's, and, of course, on Millerville, just off of I-12.
Hang on. I think I got fake news on that Alabama offensive line thing. I think I got fake news. I just looked at it, saw it. I think I got fake news.
I mean,
I got before the playoff game, that'd be pretty. But I wouldn't put it past them, but I just read that in passing. That's fake news.
You are – They target you with that type of stuff out of Tuscaloosa. You know that. You're going to bite. You want to bite. You want to bite.
Funny. That's funny. Live at Chris's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's. Come on by and see us for lunch. Really nice little layout here, James.
Yes, indeed, man. Always got, the meat pies, crawfish pies, or boudin, cracklings in the warmer, kind of grab and go as you over here. But chef special today, excuse me, Charlie, but it's soft shell crop po' boys today.
Very good, very good. Conference championship weekend. We got 1 versus 2 in a 1 versus 2 where both of those teams were highly likely to get buys in the playoffs no matter who won this thing.
Uh-huh.
So did it matter? Sure looked like it mattered to them on Saturday. That was a very
physical game. I think Ohio State played hard.
I did.
I thought Indiana had a little bit more intensity than them.
Just a little bit, but I thought both sides laid it out there. I thought it was a physical game, and
What do we talk about all the time?
came down to one more play.
We're talking about all the time. Well, who runs the ball? Who Powell runs the ball anymore? Indiana.
They kept at it too.
They're going to keep. Yes.
They ripped off the one run, but mostly it was just 3.5 yards at a time, and they just kept hammering away.
The Heisman odds in game were all over the place. Diego Pavia was as much as like minus 150, minus 160. And in the end, you would think that if you had a Pavia ticket like I did, you were okay. I mean, 13-10 final. The winning quarterback has 210 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Now, he did engineer make some throws on that one drive, but 1 touchdown? I think if you can't ask for much better.
I think if you look at that, you would have taken. In fact, I think we quoted pretty much this exact stat line.
You could have taken. Yes.
This was Pavia's chances. If the winning quarterback throws for like 225, a touchdown and a pick, and doesn't have a bunch of yards rushing, that's Pavia's best chance. If this is a defensive game,
it might have been with saying it wasn't with Mendoza, because the story of
Indiana won
the losing. Yes.
What if it's 13-10 the other way?
I think it couldn't be worse. I know that
because their stats were very similar. I know,
but it's a team award first.
Okay.
But if Ohio State wins with saying, because Charlie, when they were winning, that's when Pavia was winning, and they had a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on their way to win 10-6 instead of 13-10. There's a little time to play. It could have been 17-6, but it really flipped as soon as they took the lead, and then they won the game. And he made 2 long throws. He made a long throw to set him up. He made the touchdown throw, which is about 25, 30 yards as well. Both were covered. Both were on the money. And the story of the losingest program in the history of college football. By the way, they passed up Northwestern. Northwestern now is the losingest. They have the most losses. They did this season.
I saw they said second most. I was wondering who they had passed up.
And so that story. And what did Donardo tell us? That's a big deal to get from 5-6 to 9-2, but to get to 11-0. That's hard. And for them to be the number 1 seed in the damn tournament, year 2. At the most the most losses in the history of college football play. That story just kills it. Fernando, he's 1 step short of going to Yale, and Cal came in at the last minute and offered him a scholarship.
And the reason I think he's going to win the Heisman is, and I don't know if this is necessarily fair, but the third down, he hits Becker for 33 yards. That essentially, I know Ohio State got the ball back, but there wasn't enough time. That was a play that every college football fan was watching. I mean, if you are a college football fan, you're watching this game because it's 1 versus 2, even if these are not your teams, and you're watching at the end of the game to see if Indiana can hang on and pull this thing out. And here it is on third down, and they don't take the safe conservative way and run the football and run the clock or make them take another timeout. They air the ball out, and he drops a dime for 33 yards, and that's his Heisman moment. That's why I think he's going to win.
Diego had a lot of Heisman moments this
year.
He
did, but he didn't have. But this was in a championship game with the game on the line in the balance
2
against Ohio State.
But 1 versus 2 didn't have the juice because what you just flip flopped them. That's it. That was what's at stake. That's what the committee did.
And we knew that going in.
We thought they would go to 3.
We thought. Okay, yeah, but we didn't think
they would go to 3.
We didn't think that any outcome would have them drop out of the top 4.
No.
Okay, so they were both going to get a bye. And here he is, and he makes his play. You're right. Pavia made a bunch of those plays. He made those plays in big games, but he didn't make those plays in a champion. Is that fair? Not necessarily.
His numbers. Pavia's going to get some votes now. Now listen.
I think he's going to finish second.
I hope he finishes first. My wager is not on second. Okay. But anyway, the Pavia's numbers are better than both of these guys
by a lot. When you had the rushing yards in by a lot.
The caliber of competition, I think that Vanderbilt has played tougher defenses overall for the entire season.
Games 1-12, yeah.
I think that if you took Pavia away, took all 3 of these guys away from their teams, Vanderbilt would suffer the most. You watch the games.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you saw it in this one. Signetti picks his spots when he needs Mendoza. Does he not?
Yes.
Pavia's got to carry that thing.
If we were doing wins above replacement,
Oh,
Pavia's wins above
if
replacement
you take
is
him
the
away
greatest.
from the team, Vandy would suffer the most. And both are great stories. Indiana, the losingest team in the history of college football, is the number 1 seed. Well, Vandy's won 10 games for the first time ever in the toughest league.
Yeah, they might have the most losses, but they're in the conversation. They got plenty.
And about $115 million. That's how much Diego Pavia cost the athletic departments that he beat. His hand in getting guys fired. You having a remote, we have people coming in off the street like the veins are popping out after they lost to Vandy. Vandy's good.
Don't care. They're Vandy.
Virginia Tech, we got smoked at home by Vandy. Nope. Auburn, nope. We got to go. Kentucky.
LSU?
LSU.
The first one.
But $115 million, he played a part. And he's just, it's Vanderbilt. Is it tougher to win at Indiana or Vanderbilt? They're both tough.
I would say it's a little bit tougher at Vanderbilt because the league overall is better.
It's
but
the only
it's
private
close.
school in a damn league in the toughest league in the
But it's
country.
close. It's close. It's close.
And, you like ABBA or you like, Diego's mama? I don't know. They're both colorful characters, but Diego looks a little bit more of a renegade. The brothers are getting arrested in Knoxville, the whole thing. They got to go back to a court case. And then here's Diego, who, did you see the interview after? He's so goofy. He's such an innocent type of, this college student athlete. He had the credentials to go to Yale. This guy actually goes to class and plays big-time college football. Huh?
We do, 30 to 40 preview shows from SEC Media Days to when the season actually kicks off, maybe more than that. Nobody could have said Indiana will be the only team to go undefeated this year. Or at least that I know.
But they said, who's this year's Indiana? And there were multiple people that I read, and they're like, might be Indiana. But Indiana and Vanderbilt are great stories. Maybe he had, this is where you participated, and you had one more stage. Maybe because Fernando, and he made the plays when it counted, but it wasn't like he carried his team. They scored one offensive touchdown.
Yeah, and you said who's going to be worse off, Vanderbilt or Indiana, if you take the quarterback away. That Indiana defense is very, very good. That offensive line is physical. If they put a regular Gordon Variety quarterback in, they'd still be a 9.
How many times you watch in that game you say, why don't they wrap up? Oh, no, bro. They block and tackle, don't they?
They'll hit you. They'll hit you.
Man, there's no doubt. I don't want these games to go away. If you didn't know, they sure look like it counted to me, huh, Charlie?
And Signetti, after the game, looked like somebody just handed him a tax audit. Dude, you won. It's okay to be happy. Right?
Yes.
It is saving impersonation.
Don't forget our friends at A Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, A Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title, long-standing staff, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, A Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, how you doing, buddy?
I had a miserable weekend. My kids got me sick. I lost the league in 2 of my 3 fantasy football leagues. My football team lost 31-0. My favorite basketball team lost by 20. I lost most of my bets, and I couldn't have gotten the UFC card any more wrong.
All right, Troy. It's a good start. It's all uphill.
Happy Monday.
And I had to listen to read through Twitter as I'm lying on the couch sick, people losing their collective minds over a mediocre college football season that has yielded mediocre results.
Well, we there's no such thing as a mediocre college football season around here. So, but our local team was there, but we love it. And I thought the games were great. over the weekend. I thought the committee, I was shocked. And one of the reasons I was shocked, because these mobile sites like Bet Rivers rarely get things wrong as far as the odds are concerned. And the odds for Notre Dame to make it to the playoff were minus 1,000, minus 10 to 1. It never is wrong like that. And it was wrong. And you even had somebody leak it out. One site put out lines on that as if, Alabama and Notre Dame were in. And saying, it's leaked out and this and that. We looked at Kalshi and we saw the timeline on Kalshi, how it was so late and shoom. They did not let this get out. Charlie, this one didn't. This one did not get out.
When you think they made up their mind? Do you think that maybe that decision didn't get made until Sunday morning late? Like they took it right down to the wire? Because you usually can't keep a secret like that, even in a closed room. You're right. It usually does get out. Maybe they did take this all the way to the absolute last minute.
He did say that the coaches it was a lively debate on, why, what this is good and this is not, just the final decision. But they were asked every damn week about Miami and Notre Dame if head-to-head's going to matter every damn week. And for whatever reason, we're not going to look at head-to-head's not going to count as much until they're next to each other. So I just no. Once Miami matched the dominant effort at Pitt like Notre Dame, because that's one of Notre Dame's biggest jewels this year is at Pitt. And once they did that, they should have switched them then. They should have switched them then, and because head-to-head has to count when it's this close. And it was close. It was close, Troy.
Yeah, the odds were way off. The book got it wrong. And the only other times I can really think of that it was this wrong are draft-related futures. The year, what was it, Paulo Banchero and Jabari Smith were flip-flops. And what does that have in common?
Yes, that's a good one, Troy.
That's great.
Yes.
Less than 30 minutes to the draft.
What's the common denominator? That is not sports-related. That is purely news-based and leaked information. It's why Bet Rivers is very hesitant to provide a wide variety of options on, news-based events because the human element's even more involved than decision-making on a football field. So I actually don't know if we had those odds posted. I did see it floating around on the internet. I'm not sure where it was. I know earlier in the week it was posted, but I'm not sure about Sunday. But yeah, that's why there's also a lot of volatility in news-based wagering because you get information like that, or if the market is a two-way market, you can bet the other side. There's a lot of value to be won.
I thought there was a lot of value at Diego Pavia plus $2 and change last week. Well, you can get a lot more than that now at Bet Rivers. He's plus 1,300, 13 to 1. Fernando Mendoza minus 33.35. That's 33 and change to 1 that he's going to win it. And I'm afraid that the cat's in the bag and the bag is in the river on this one. So I don't think there's a lot of drama. But at Bet Rivers and the other sites, they usually get these Heisman right. And, that's, something was beneficial for those that participated it won them a Heisman on Saturday night in Indianapolis. Yeah,
I think it did. Brooke, I'd give it to Diego Pavia. Not that Fernando Mendoza isn't worthy of it. I mean, he's the face of the most incredible college football turnaround maybe of all time. I mean, Indiana is a nothing burger in the college football space, and they're now the number one team in the country. He had a Heisman moment. He won he won a conference championship. I know a lot of people don't think that matters, but they beat Ohio State. But he was good, but he take him away and put someone else in Indiana, and I think they're still pretty good.
Yes.
You take Diego Pavia away from Vanderbilt, I don't know how good they are. I think he did more for Vanderbilt than Fernando Mendoza did for Indiana. That's why I would lean Diego Pavia, but I just like that, one of the two winners, it's going to be Mendoza, but either of them started the year at 50 to 1 or longer. That's even longer than Travis Hunter last year, and really that had to do with the fact that no one knew how to price him because he played both ways. DBs don't get a lot of love. Colorado's offense isn't great, but to have a real long shot win the Heisman, that's pretty cool.
We all agree. You just repeated what we said last segment as far as Pavia is more valuable to his team. So our unofficial college wins above replacement stat, Pavia much stronger than Sagan and Mendoza to their teams. So anyway, what are we looking at for tonight's Monday Night Football game?
Yeah, heavy money on the Eagles, which I can't really wrap my head around at this point. 79% of the money, 78% of the tickets on the Eagles to win outright. 71% of the money and 73% of the tickets on Eagles to cover, a -2. I think that's just way too strong. I have no faith in the Eagles right now. I don't think the Chargers are world class, but I think they can keep a game tight. And it's just more about what the Eagles aren't right now. The money on the over is 65% and 72% of the tickets. It's a low over-under at 41.5. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, as a lot of Eagles games are, in any game involving Jim Harbaugh. I don't think it's going to be an aesthetically pleasing game, although I've just said all these things about why I don't like the Eagles. I think it's going to be ugly and watch it be a shootout. So I've been wrong the last 72 hours in every regard. So perhaps stay Troy.
Troy, any college basketball notes over the weekend?
I mean, well, it was a big weekend for the Big Ten in football. It was pretty ugly on the hardwood. Duke picked up a big win at Michigan State, which I did not see happen. Yeah. Indiana showed there is a gap between them and the elite teams, and make no mistake, Louisville is an elite team. And the biggest shocker was Purdue getting just run off the floor by Iowa State. Iowa State's very good. They have two of the best players in the country that no one talks about, but I just did not see them suffering. The number one team in the country suffering the worst home loss in like 30 years. Illinois did pick up a good win against Tennessee, but the Big Ten is one of the two best conferences in basketball this year, and it was a little disheartening to see. Granted, they played 4 top 25 matchups. These were not losing the cupcakes or anything, but I thought there would be. I thought Michigan State would win because they've been one of the best teams in the country. I still think they're one of the 5 best teams in the country right now. But it was just a fun weekend. There's a lot of sports on. I just didn't get any of it right.
Yeah, we the SEC, and one thing we're learning too, and now they did scramble to win the ACC Challenge 9-7, but nothing like they won last year, 14-2. And then on Saturday, Tennessee lost at home. Auburn, Oklahoma, Ole Miss all go on the road and get whooped as well. So Ole Miss was the only one that was competitive at St. John's, lost by 5. But the SEC, and then Charlie, the first Q1 or Q2 game for LSU, non-competitive.
No, Texas Tech was up double digits less than 8 minutes into the game.
It's a 5.5 point spread,
and never got down under double digits.
The neutral site wasn't in Lubbock; it was in Fort Worth. So,
yeah. But I think they trailed by the biggest margin of
about 30.
Biggest deficit with 30.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, before we let you go, I'm sorry, you had something?
Oh, I was just going to say real quick. One thing I'm sure you guys have discussed, but I just need to mention this, is that the Broncos to cover against the Raiders was the strongest play by ticket and strongest play by money.
Play
yeah.
of the game.
Oh,
yeah. And that
yes.
is, the Bears losing by 7, and it was 6.5, and I was very strong on the Bears. That's not a bad beat. That's just it's a tough way to lose. That Broncos-Raiders game is legitimately a bad beat solely because the coach wanted to cover the spread.
Well, I mean, he's not alone.
No.
It's a 2-score game. A field goal makes it a 1-score game. So, I mean,
Clock expired, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, what, you want to just throw a Hail Mary for nothing? I mean,
I get it. I didn't play the game, so I'm not as emotional about it. But
well,
had I done it, I would have been.
Was it a bad beat if you had Denver, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
What's my motto? Hadn't been a bad beat you couldn't hedge out of.
Well, I guess.
Well, I took the Raiders plus 7.5 because I had a middle. I had Denver release it. It was one of my 5 on the show yesterday. Well, I can see that the Raiders are, Denver's going into run clock mode. I mean, they're just getting out of there, and so I'll hit a middle. To protect my middle, I took plus 7.5 at plus 650 at Bet Rivers. So protect yourself.
I understand.
So bombs away, Carlson. Let's go, baby. I'm right there, pulling it forward. We'll go right down the middle because plus 650 was stronger than the minus 110 in the original bet.
My question for you, Troy, was going to be your early thoughts about the playoff lines because I I believe you guys opened Oklahoma as a 1 or 1.5 point favorite. Now that it's
2.5, I think it opened.
Is it, you can tell us, Troy, where you opened it. Now Alabama is a small favorite at Bet Rivers.
Yeah, it was Oklahoma 2.5 to open. It's now Alabama -1. I'm not really sure what goes into that. Certainly Oklahoma beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very close game.
And Alabama doubled them up in yardage.
And Alabama did not look great against Georgia, and Oklahoma was off. But I mean, maybe they're moving it because people are going to be piling on Oklahoma. But at the same time, last week, after Oklahoma's final regular season game, I remember thinking, like, I hope they're in the they're in the playoffs. I hope so, because I'm going to fade them because I think they are fraudulent among the elite of the elite. But Alabama, now that I have a full, I think that conference championship game matters. It's another game against a great team, and I don't think Alabama's that good. I would not be putting Alabama as even a single point favorite unless this game is being played in the state of Alabama.
Two things, Troy. Alabama outgained them 2-1, basically 400 to 200 in that game. That'll be tougher going to Norman. And the other thing is that they bet Alabama. They bet them out. They were the most public play in the first game against Florida State, most public play in the Iron Bowl, their public play this past weekend. I mean, where'd that line go off at? Georgia 1.5?
1.5. It was at 2.5 on Friday, but I think it went off 1.5.
That's
right, because Alabama they bet Alabama like it's Nick Saban's still there.
Woof woof.
Yeah.
Woof woof. Yes. Woof. We cashed that ticket, baby.
Yes, we did.
Yes, indeed. All right, Troy. Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's Machir. Thank you, Troy.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Over here at Chris's Specialty Foods, again, turkeys, traditional turkeys. We can do the seasoned injected breasts, the injected turkeys, the deboned turkeys, the fried turkeys, the smoked turkeys. We do stuffed turkeys with rice dressing, cornbread, boudin, crawfish, or shrimp. The turkey rolls, that's just basically the breast, Charlie. So we got all of those that are stuffed as well with all of our different stuffings. So create your own bundle as well that includes two sides to go with your turkeys or turduckens. You got all the turduckens with the different stuffings as well, the turducken rolls as well. So some of the different sides, mac and cheese, rice dressing, twice baked potato, cabbage is on fire, baby. Yams, green beans, and cornbread.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Lane Kiffin making money yesterday when the bracket came out, picked up $150,000 from LSU, playing the first round. They are heavy favorites to beat Tulane, who they beat by 35 points in the regular season. Wins that, pick up another $250 from LSU. Goes all the way to the national championship, win $1 million. Coach Kiffin tweeting out this morning from the facility, 6 o'clock this morning.
That's why.
Hey, I'm here. Big happy Monday. Let's go to work. I'm here. I'm working.
It's that Florida didn't offer that. You don't think? I would say no.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Might have been where I broke down.
But that's what I tell you with that one where it did stick when they went from 7 to 6 after beating Mississippi State. That was a big deal. Playing Tulane or playing Alabama.
Yeah, and gosh, 2 non-power conference teams. Back hour number 2, 104.5.
Live. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's. All decked out for the holidays here, man. Come by and
gift baskets,
check it out.
Turkeys. It was a big Thanksgiving Eve, both here at the Millerville location. We're really, really loaded down. So get your for Christmas a little brief exhale and then get ready for Christmas today. You have people coming over here and getting some lunch as well. Today's chef special is the soft shell crab po' boy. So we got that today. Of course, they always like to get a little taste of the gumbo. Man, I love the sausage that they put in their gumbo over here. Boudin. The boudin crackling and meat pies and crawfish pies are always in the warmer, sort of kind of grab and go if you want to snack on while you're waiting for your food or just grab some things to go. But, the prepared foods, man. So the turkeys, smoked turkeys, fried turkeys, we did a ton of them. But don't forget, you can ship nationwide as well. Turduckens, turkeys, turkey rolls, stuffed with, stuffed with any combination, the rice dressing, cornbread, boudin, crawfish or shrimp stuff for all of our different turkeys, turduckens, or turkey rolls and turducken rolls. And you can even do a bundle with the different sides, mac and cheese, rice dressing, twice baked potato, my favorite, the cabbage, yams, green beans, and cornbread.
Is it possible that Georgia is flying under the radar as much as an SEC champion that just shoved Alabama into the turf and beat them over the head on Saturday? Maybe because it was 1 versus 2 on the other side, but what Georgia did to Alabama doesn't happen very often to Alabama, regardless of who the coach is, to get physically whipped like they did.
Isn't there a chance
Saturday.
that Georgia can be getting better?
Yeah.
Okay, and, sort of the last thing you saw, they were unimpressive against Georgia Tech.
Who's not bad. Georgia
They're
Tech
not bad, but it was a little bit of a flat performance, if you ask me.
It was, and it was supposed to be a road game for Georgia Tech. They were in the Dome. It was almost all red.
When it's all said and done, Georgia had a tougher schedule than Ohio State. Ohio State was more dominant. Ohio State didn't have these struggles like they did in Knoxville and Auburn.
I think everybody started sleeping on Georgia when they went through that 2-week stretch. They should have lost to Tennessee. A very makeable field goal. They lose there. Then the following week they lose.
I think that was Stockton's first true road start, though.
It was. It was. So they should have lost, but he made the plays after the kid missed the field goal. Then the next week they do lose to Alabama, and I think it sort of sunk in. Well, Georgia's not as good as they are in championship, and they're not.
They're not.
But it doesn't mean they can't be good enough to win.
But it sure looks like they're the best in the league, huh?
I mean, if I was forced,
because they're better. They got a first-year starting quarterback, and damn it, he's got a little moxie, Charlie. He's got a little.
No, he does.
He is, including the Tennessee game. He's at his best when it counts. Even the Florida game. I mean, Florida's got the ball in the lead in the red zone, in the fourth quarter. They get stuffed. What's he do? He makes them pay. He goes 80 yards right down the field, and has the game-winning touchdown. And puts that game away. He is getting better. He is getting better. He doesn't have the measurables that Beck and some others, like a Stafford who's come through that program, some guys that are going to be. I don't know I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to be high on the draft board at the next level, or even for the draft. But damn it, college football, man, they showed him one time, man, when the tight end didn't know the damn, or he messed up the alignment or something. Boy, he grabbed him, he's their guy, man. No, he's their.
Oh, they like him. They respond to him.
Remember when we were at Beau Rivage when Beck went down?
Yeah.
There weren't any tears shed when Stockton came in. Now, you can't just run the ball every play. You see what happened with Auburn. Okay, that's great. They beat Baylor, but you can only run the quarterback draw so many times before people are going to adjust to that. But he's got the intangibles. He just needed to do it, and there's nothing to create confidence more than just coming through in the big spot. Then it's downhill from there.
And if he starts rolling, I know that defense is better now than it was in September and October by a lot. I mean, the last 3 games they played against, throw the Charlotte game out, 10 points against Texas, 9 points against Georgia Tech, 7 points against Alabama. That defense, that ain't the same defense I watched go to Knoxville and give up 40.
Correct, because Tennessee just had chunk plays, man. Yeah. They are – does it because their roster is more traditional makeup where high school recruits and develop over time? Is that where you see more of a development over the course of the season as opposed to I'm just trying to – because their roster is different. Texas and Georgia are the 2 rosters in the league that are the highest percentage of high school signees.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and I think the other part is just
stability.
very obvious. Kirby Smart's just a damn good
stability
football
in their
coach.
staff.
Yeah,
and what's he preach too? He preaches physicality.
Yeah,
You want to talk about a team who runs the ball with power? They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna have a power running element to their teams always.
If I had a free bet, if I just had to pick one thing to put it on to win the national championship at this point, And basically Ohio State and Indiana are co-favorites at this point. There's not a whole lot of difference in between them. It would be very close for me whether I take Georgia at 6.5 to 1 or Texas Tech at 9 to 1.
I know sometimes people will kind of misconstrue the terminology that we use, and our buddy Trey gets on me for using roster all the time. But I want to explain and distinguish the reason. This roster is more the list of players and their talent ability, their talent level. This is not the roster when they had Carter and Davis.
Oh, and they had 8 guys drafted in the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
No, it's not that.
It's not. But this team might be much closer to that. There are teams that, Indiana might not have as good of a roster as Ohio State. Their team is every bit as good as Ohio State.
And I wouldn't have said this in October.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Well, Kirby and the stability of the staff, doesn't that lend itself to developing your roster into a team?
I give him full credit for that. He is, right now, in my opinion, the best coach in America.
And 13 games in now, we should see the teams, the coaching impact on these rosters.
Yeah. I think he is the best coach in the country right now, although I got to tell you, Kirk Cignetti has done something that I don't know has been
He's getting a lot of people fired, bro.
I don't know. Yeah, he is. And getting a lot of people raises, too.
Well,
I don't know that I've seen anything like this in this sport where a coach went in and took a program that was completely out of nowhere and turned them into a power this quickly. I mean, I know it was a different time. It took Bobby Bowden, 8 years to get Florida State up to 8 to 10 years before he got him. Again, different time, I know. This guy walked in the door at Indiana and started beating the hell out of people for the stat you cited so many times, the losing his program ever.
Central Florida was peaking, about 3 or 4 years ago with Frost. They claimed the national championship, that BS. But still, they were at their apex.
But in 18.
And they won
17, 18.
And okay, so 6-7 years ago. They did not want to do a 2-for-1, going to Gainesville for one game in Orlando. Bobby Bowden in the late 70s came here for a 4 for none. 4 trips to Tiger Stadium for none going there.
Including a game that at the time was a big deal,
the
the
Orange Bowl game,
82.
82.
Yeah, the winner of the game was
that was the only time LSU beat them. Of those 4 games.
Of those 4 games. And it was a big deal to go to the Orange Bowl.
The 79 game was an ABC picked it up, and, man, it was a great game. They brought first time I heard the war chant and things like that, and but they were kind of any team, any place, kind of, but he had to do that to build it. Miami had to do that and go play everybody, no matter where. They weren't afraid to play anybody anywhere. Now, Florida State was kind of independent metro kind of at that time, with that Tulane, Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Southern Miss type of a conference for a little bit. But, yes, this is impossible. This is impossible. He has done – we thought – what year was it when Bob Stoops went to Oklahoma and won it in year 2?
2000.
They had a 1 versus 2 matchup. They were underdog at home to Nebraska as the number 1 team in college football. And they beat them, and they kind of modernized the offense. Heupel was throwing the ball. They broke the wishbone, and, they got over the big hump when Nebraska was at its highest. It was said at that time, and then Urban Meyer went from Utah to Gainesville and won it all in year 2. And we're like, this is a much bigger deal. Going to Oklahoma and Florida winning is a big deal then. Going to Indiana, no. And so to the Ole Miss people, this is their biggest reason for argument. Wait a minute. It is different now. We are the number 6 seed. Indiana is the number 1 seed. These non-traditional powers with the right guy, with a little boosters and administrative support.
Texas Tech.
Well, then you get they got oil. Yeah. So, look out. So, and Texas Tech is the number 4 seed. Yes, it's not. You don't have to be Texas, LSU, Alabama, Florida, USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan to get it done.
What he's done there is I struggle to come up with a comp.
There was once a time, what was it, Oregon. I went to the Oregon LSU game in the late 70s. It was a win.
Yeah.
I mean, but when they got the field night, but that was a big deal because nobody had more modern facilities. And
we thought that was sustainable because it was new money. They introduced a lot of things that most other people didn't have, like what you're talking about with facilities.
But there's still there's more logic to that. This deal that he's got going on there is unbelievable.
Yeah. We knew Nike wasn't going anywhere, so we knew Oregon was sustainable. Is Indiana sustainable?
Oil is.
Oh, Texas Tech, yeah, that money ain't going nowhere.
And now they got something to show for it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. They're starting to reap
Charlie,
the
it's the
benefits
first
of it.
outright conference championship in 70 years.
At Indiana?
No.
At Texas Tech?
Yes.
Okay. That's
yes.
right. It's 45 on 55, 60, 80 on Indiana.
70 years in Lubbock.
And look.
And Southwest Conference. I mean, they couldn't.
What do we appreciate? We appreciate consistency. We appreciate being able to repeat the mechanic. They beat BYU. That game was almost exactly like the first game.
BYU came ready and delivered the first blow.
Drive?
They delivered the first blow and like, oh, boy, here we go. And then, nope, overtime, it was just, we'll get. That Texas Tech team, they're well coached as well. It's another coach. They block and tackle. They don't just run into people when they're tackling. No, they don't collide. They tackle. They hit and wrap. And they all have a level of physicality to them as well. And, damn it, those white guys look like they're 35 years old playing defense, Charlie. Those linebackers. Maybe it's the mustache that ages a guy. I don't know, man. But those guys look old, man.
The first game between those two, they outgained them by 113 yards. And they won 29-7.
Who looks old? Oh, go ahead.
And this game, they outgained them by 160, and they end up winning the game 34-7 instead of 29-7. It was 4 turnovers in this game. It was 3 turnovers in the first game. They couldn't have been more identical, and yet these games were 8 weeks apart.
Remember when you would play Saban teams at LSU or Alabama? Where you say like teams the next week would suffer.
Yeah, the physical nature of the games beat people up.
When you watch Texas Tech play and Indiana, it's like those teams got to be hurt in the next week. They have to be,
without question. And the one that I like, the player that impresses me the most is the defensive tackle Hunter, Lee Hunter. He's about 350 pounds.
The biggest comp is right down.
Anderson looks a lot like him.
Berman Stadium.
This guy is 350 pounds probably, depending on what he had for breakfast, and he can run. And he's got quick swim moves.
Run for a big guy.
Well, yeah, for 3. I mean, he ain't beating Carl Lewis down the field. I get it, but
he moves better than most his size.
350 pounds, and I'm looking at him going, that guy is going to be in the NFL for 12 years. That guy,
if he maintains his shit.
Right, if he doesn't get hurt. It's easy to get hurt when you're that big.
Well, no, but he can't get any bigger.
No,
you might want to get a little bit more streamlined.
He could stand to lose a little bit of weight, but he looks like those old Ted Washington.
He can do things for his size that not a lot of people
Tony
can.
Siragusa.
And that's what, as Catholic, trying to block that guy Friday night. I mean, he seemed to be. I saw him against American Heritage. It seemed he was more disruptive Friday night than he was against American Heritage. I'm talking about Anderson.
Yeah.
He played AAU basketball too.
At 350 pounds, right?
Yeah. I mean, what does that look like? You know, I mean, so these guys can do.
I'm not taking a charge. I'll put it to you that way.
He's not going to get that high off the ground. But who's older? Is it Kelvin Sampson's basketball players or Texas Tech's football players?
Oh, good comp.
They both look 15 years older than everybody else in the field.
They do. They're very mature, very physical. And look, BYU typically have an older roster than most because a lot of those kids go on missions, and sometimes you end up,
yes.
So you end up with 22-year-old juniors.
Well, they look like baby faces compared to Texas.
That's what I'm saying. They're supposed to be the old guys. They got whooped pretty good.
How old is Bayou Jew?
I don't know. Check his ID. 20.
I saw somebody, a Tulane fan, cracking on LSU. You know, the whole thing. Easy greasy. Easy, crazy.
Oh, we
They
had to get to all the games before we got to the coaching
They
stuff.
have one
but that's
common
next.
opponent. They have one common opponent.
Yeah, and they lost by 35, and LSU lost by 7. And they tried to hire LSU's defensive coordinator, but that didn't work. That story broke on Saturday.
It's like it's and it's on TNT. I think because it's such a weak matchup, they might move it to True TV on a couple Saturdays. But Tulane Ole Miss. But it's the is it the LSU Runt Bowl? Is it the?
I think there'll be time for LSU to run their mouth about this. Now ain't the time. Tulane's in the playoff, and you're not. So
what would the line be with LSU and Tulane?
This is your corner of the store. What do you tell me?
I think LSU would be favored
on a neutral site.
What were the lines when they both went to Oxford?
Yeah, Tulane's what, a 15-point, 14.5, 15. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think LSU probably would be a.
We had a local media guy who said, "Is this right? Ole Miss is favored over LSU." I was like, "Oh yeah,
That didn't surprise me at all." We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, now in La Rose and Lockport. Get onto the ThibodeauStore.com. Tons of gift ideas for the holiday season. Up to 51% off all hand and power tools by Milwaukee. Great stocking stuffers available for you. Same-day pickup on pretty much everything on the website. Delivery available on some of these items. Your outdoor heaters, number of different sizes that they've got on these things. Your security cameras, security locks, barbecue pits, griddles, tons of yard equipment, patio furniture, channel lock tools are 45% off right now. So check out the website at thethibodeaustore.com. You're heading down 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux and Highway 70 in Pierre Part. You can access all 4 stores from thethibodeaustore.com. Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Back here, Chris is live at lunch. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal pain and discomfort, help you get you to feeling better. Back pain, neck pain, muscle soreness, those things that maybe are keeping you from getting a good night's sleep or restricting your motion a little bit. Let Dr. Michael Goff and his staff get you adjusted, get you to feeling better. They'll pinpoint those problem areas and work a little bit on some of the techniques that they've got. Get you in an exercise and stretching program to loosen things up, or dry needle, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, ultrasound therapy, any of a number of techniques that'll get you to feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. So when we were doing the show on Friday, Tulane looked like they might be closing in on a deal to hire LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker in what continued, it appeared, well into the night on Friday. Lane Kiffin, in addition to working the high school recruiting, was working on keeping Blake Baker around. 3 years, $9.3 million later, Baker is back, and so will the majority of the defensive staff be with him. This morning, Tulane hired Will Hall, who was their passing game coordinator, to be their head coach. It seemed like for a while there on Saturday, Jimmy, that Tulane was kind of a day late and a dollar short everywhere they went. Not in the game on Friday night. The game, they looked great. But they missed out on Baker. They missed out on Charles Huff, who ended up leaving Southern Miss and going to Memphis. And they missed out on Candle.
1 year stop at
Hattiesburg,
huh?
And then they missed out on Candle, who went to UConn after Jim Mora had moved to Colorado State. So they were looking there.
The UConn job over Tulane?
I don't know how far Tulane got with him, but he took that job. I know that they at least considered him. I don't know how far down the line that they got. I don't know if they actually offered him the job. And then, of course, Ed Ogeron's name never really went away. It was always kind of in the middle of that. And yesterday, I had somebody asked, you think O's going to get that job? I was like, man, I didn't think so a week ago. I didn't even think so on Friday.
Could have fallen to him.
It almost did. I'm certain he would have taken it. And it's not like they got anything close to their first choice here, and a little bit surprising because their last two hires have catapulted from that into power conference.
And what did they
jobs.
do in their last two hires? They went out and took coaches from not that lower of a level, okay? And Willie Fritz from Georgia Southern, who won there. Summerall, who turned it around at Troy there. He won there. And it was just a little baby step up from the level of play in their conferences to the American at Tulane. So why wouldn't they go do it again? Well, just 2 years ago, they're doing this again. And so maybe they think they would have a little bit more stability, or the next guy who's not an established head coach might stick around a little bit longer.
And he might. He wasn't even the OC there. Joe Craddock was. Who looks like he's going to Florida with John Summerall.
One of the more notable Tulane hirings is when Tommy Bowden took Clemson. Tulane actually matched with Clemson's offer, but as his dad said, look, you're 11-0, and you're going to Memphis for the Liberty Bowl. I mean, go move on. And so he did, and they were all ready to hire Rodriguez from within, but they didn't because they were butthurt about Bowden leaving them when they actually matched the offer. And so they brought in Selfo instead. But they're different. And listen, administrations have changed, so there's different ways. The school remains the same. But Tulane is got to be one of the top mid-major programs, group of five jobs there is. And
it is right now.
And basically, we heard that Baker was offered.
Now
so he was going to make more money.
Is it going to stay that way? Or are they going to continue to fund this at that level?
Well, obviously, he didn't get the funding that he thought was necessary to make the jump because you wouldn't stay for less money. Because now, can Baker, with some success, can he get a better offer? He could. But, man, it's a nice deal he was offering. It was pretty good.
It was. Now, LSU came strong. A little over $3 million a year for a defensive coordinator. That's big money.
But they were offering him over $4?
They were offering him somewhere between $4 and $4.5 was the report down at Tulane. And you can become a head coach in a power conference from either spot.
Third more.
We've seen it. It is more.
How long of a deal were they offering him? It's got to be more than 3 years. Got to be 5?
Yeah, I would think it was
minimum.
5. Yeah, I would think so. He wants to be a head coach at the power level like just pretty much every coach does. This tells me –
That's great, but you better be better than 30th in the country in yards per play defense.
Well, and I want to talk about that stat in a second, but I think that this kind of signals that Blake Baker's not just going to take any head coaching job, that he's going to do what Kirby Smart did, what Brent Venables did, which is I'm waiting for a big job.
He might be right. He might be wrong.
That's right. He's betting on himself. Like he would take Florida State, but he wouldn't take Wake Forest. I don't just pick a power school. If he's
passing up Tulane, he's looking. Yeah, if they make a change at Florida State, maybe. Heck, I mean, they make a change at Clemson. Yeah. I mean, Will Muschamp was in waiting for the Texas job and got the Florida job. I mean,
would you say the three coaches that go into next year on the hottest seat out of the power leagues: Florida State, Wisconsin, Baylor? Those are the three that come to mind.
I wouldn't be turning down Tulane to go. No, Wisconsin doesn't. I'm sorry. No, they got.
Okay, so you don't like those jobs, but Florida State.
No, with Wisconsin, Florida State. Their op center is the new one on the block. It's brand spanking new, so that's something you have there. I mean, the SECs are probably going to have some jobs open up.
No, and those are just the ones off the top of my head. Wisconsin and Florida State couldn't afford to fire their coaches.
It's a tough spot right now.
And Baylor didn't have an AD.
Wisconsin now is not what it was 5, 6, 7 years ago.
But could it be again? Could it be again? Are they going to be tired?
But losing? It might not be.
Maybe they don't have the money. I think Dave Aranda caught a break that AD left at Baylor. Had he stayed, Aranda might have been in more trouble.
Well, he's the guy that hired him. Usually, you make a switch. No, you
Well,
brought
they
him
didn't.
to fire
At the
coach.
end of the season, they didn't have an AD in place, is what I'm saying. If they had one in place, maybe things would have gone differently. I don't know that for sure.
He could have got fired the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so he goes into next year on the hot seat.
And his Baylor can win there. You can win at Baylor.
You can win there. You can. I think you can win
But
at Wisconsin. It's going to require them
mid-level Big 12
to
step
up.
I don't know if I would pass up that deal Tulane's guaranteeing to go to Baylor.
There was also talk that Baker wasn't wild about moving. He's got a young family. He wasn't wild about moving them again so quickly after coming here.
You know you play every year at Baylor too, huh?
Who you play every year?
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're in the same league. Now, you're
well, not just the same league. They're permanents.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Your stat, which is correct stat about the yards given up, you thought that Baker underachieved. I thought he did.
I thought it was very average.
Okay.
I didn't think it was underachieved.
I went back and looked at all 8 SEC opponents plus Clemson and what they averaged in their conference games. LSU held 8 of the 9 underneath what their average was in conference games when LSU played them.
Okay.
So I thought that was
better
pretty
than
good.
average.
Yeah. The only one that exceeded it was Texas A&M. LSU held, and Vandy was 1 point, and I think Clemson ended up being 9 points. So it was anywhere from 1 to 9 points less than their average in conference games, not the rental wins. So I thought he did a pretty good job. And we talked about staff stability. I think that plays in.
Probably
I think
the
that most
reason
of
I
that
look
staff
at
is
the
going to
stat,
be
no
back.
stat is perfect, but I think it's one of the better ones because different teams play different tempos and different amount of snaps. So, it's easier to have a total defense of ranking under Les Miles than it is under Kevin Sumlin.
Right.
Okay. And the yards per play defense this year, who 1 or 2? Ohio State and Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You're going to argue that?
No, I'm not.
So 30th is barometer. Maybe if they're I know he's being paid more than the 30th best defensive coach.
No argument there.
I know his defensive roster costs more than 30th.
And they put plenty of money in. I would also, to balance out on the other side of the ledger, I would tell you that the offense didn't do him any favors in a lot of these games where they could not make enough first downs to stay him off the field.
You make some good points. I make some good points. It rolls out to mediocrity. I'm sorry. There's nothing special out of the luxuries he was afforded. Nothing special.
I think he was a little bit better than
No. They weren't better than average. You just said that. They held their opponents to below their conference average. Yeah. You said that, but not drastically. They're still 30th in the country. So, but when you afford those luxuries with resources, with money, comes expectations.
And those expectations will be even higher next year because I expect them to spend an obscene amount of money in the portal.
You could say, well, according to the thing I'm looking at, they're better than average. The thing I'm looking at, they're below average. So you cross them together, you're paying for more than mediocrity, dude.
Would you rather keep him at $3 million a year or go shopping for a DC at $3 million a year?
I'll keep him.
Okay, me too. That's what I
No,
thought.
I'll keep him.
Yeah.
No, I'll keep him.
And
I think Lane's an offensive coach.
Yeah, your off-ball coordinator.
His off-ball coordinators. Yeah. No. I'm saying that, but as far as oh man, who are we going to get?
And it appears you're going to keep the whole staff with him. I think Kyle Williams may decide not to coach next year. If he does, fine. If he wants to come back, that's great. Well, they've already hired a defensive line coach from Syracuse, so it doesn't look like Williams wants to stay on staff, wants to go back into private life, and that's fine. But the rest of the staff stays intact.
Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. My boy, Mr. Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies around, man. And right now it is the time to get an unbelievable deal on a new unit. Total Maintenance is offering $5,500 off select systems, select AC systems, as well as big discounts on the ductwork you have to put off replacing that 30 years old. So free evaluation of your system, found out exactly the recommendations and the options and the price points that we're looking at with your current situation. Usual $179 heating safety check. An introductory offer right now is just $79. That's $100 off normal service to check your heating system for safe, reliable operation. And don't forget, all of our listeners here on Live at Lunch, 10% off. Mention Jimmy Ott, mention Live at Lunch, mention Charlie, mention Max. You get 10% off any membership program you purchase through Total Maintenance. That's good for all of the services we provide. And be sure to ask about our AC and Heating Elite membership that comes with system monitoring solutions to inform both the owner and Total Maintenance of a problem the second it happens. The Elite membership also credits half of the monthly investment into a savings account that can be redeemed at the time of a replacement. replacement to your system, almost like a kind of a rewards program. Give us a call at Total Maintenance 480-1000. 480-1000.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to SupremeRice.com. The Saints yesterday with a win in Tampa.
Who dat?
Much to the chagrin of better than half of the remaining Circa Survivor field, who down to 45 entries, and 28 of them had Tampa yesterday in the Survivor pool.
28 of the 45 had Tampa.
And they lost another 6, so they're down to 11 after over 18,000 entries into that. But
Tyler Shuck's best game?
Yeah, I think so.
Think so?
The stats are not overwhelming. The passing stats aren't overwhelming. But I thought he made plays yesterday. I thought the two runs are obvious, but
the two runs
I thought there were some third downs where he made good decisions. The one interception, he took the fall for it. I can't 100% tell you that that's not on the receiver for stopping on the route. They had a miscommunication, so I'm gonna give him a little bit of a pass on that. The Saints were able to run the football a little bit. They didn't rush up and down the field on him, but he helped with that. He has gotten better. I like enough of what I've seen to want to see more. And I'll be honest with you, Jimmy. Yesterday, the Titans won, but the Saints are still. With a projected top 5 pick. They are the second best of the 3-win team, so they would be slotted in number 5 right now. If they don't get the number 1 pick, which it's looking unlikely, I suppose they still could, but let's say they're probably a lot more likely to end up somewhere between, say, 4 and
13. Yeah. 4. We'll up at the draft position. Okay.
Yeah, but somewhere between 4 and 8. If they don't have a chance to draft Mendoza and Dante Moore and Ty Simpson decide to go back to school, I don't know that there's another quarterback that I have to have up there. I would rather plug in with that high draft pick. I'd love for him to trade down and get extra picks, but Loomis isn't going to do that. I don't have to have a quarterback now.
Well,
unless I can get Mendoza. I don't have to have a quarterback right this second.
Do you think Mendoza separate himself?
If Simpson and Moore don't go into the draft, I think yes. There's not another.
Even if they do,
if they do, I think they're going to go that high. I wouldn't take Simpson that high. Moore maybe, but both of them have minimal starts. Neither one of them are going to get to.
That's something we can't argue.
Neither one of them are going to get to those 25 starts or so. And so I would be nervous about taking either one of them that high. And there's nobody that's in the draft. And I'm assuming Sellers isn't going to be in the draft.
Before we kill Simpson on Saturday too, show me a play where he really screwed up, where he wasn't getting his ass rocked.
No,
I mean he got killed, man.
I like him. Do I want to spend the number 2 or 3 pick in the draft at this point?
He needs to play more.
A year from now,
he needs to play more. Yes. And Moore does as well.
Yeah.
What do you have, like 3 starts at UCLA?
It was a low number.
So when Mendoza's got multiple seasons.
Yes, he does. If I had the number 1 pick, I'd probably take Mendoza. But if I'm not the number 1 pick,
I watched Shuck run the ball yesterday, and he ran for 2 touchdowns, 55 yards. Okay. I said, man, maybe it's just an easy comparison. Rookie. He runs, I think, the same effectiveness, the close style-wise, takes some hits, kind of leaves himself in. It's Jackson Dart. What I didn't now he didn't play in a system where he did run the ball a little bit. I have to go back and look. He did run it at Texas Tech some. He's 3 inches taller than Dart.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger than Dart as well.
Well, I mean, I didn't know it was 3 inches. And they're listed.
Yeah, he's
height.
6'5". Yeah,
6'5" to 6'2". Dart doesn't look like he's undersized out there.
No,
when he's playing.
No,
but this guy is and look, Dart's creating a list of injuries. Shuck's already had them. He doesn't need to be running much because he is a target when he runs.
Yeah.
Dart is a target when he runs. They both can run the ball effectively at times, but that's why I'm comparison and they both need to be wise when they run because that's not where they're going to make it's a sustainable living and production in the NFL. I mean, Dart wants to be Mr. Tough Guy more than Shuck. I get it, but neither one of them can afford to. But they can move those chains or make that big play with their feet occasionally, as he did yesterday. So it's he's not Joe Montana all of a sudden,
No.
But he showed you more signs. We're in an evaluation period, and they've got 4 more games left.
Yes.
4 more games before they decide, and that's it, because this is what counts more than anything, to decide if they have enough to, no, he's our guy, and fill other pieces to the puzzle, and they got a lot of other areas of need, or they say, just don't, we're gonna draft a quarterback high, because how many times are they going to be drafting? Top 5.
If he is your quarterback moving forward, you can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel on where this rebuild is going.
This game takes definitely a step toward, no, he's our guy.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can't give him a passing grade from yesterday. Like you said, didn't wow you with his stats. He only threw for 144 yards.
If he is the quarterback for next year, then at the top of the draft, you can take a Reuben Bain from Miami, an Orville Reese Reese may go number 1 overall. He's probably a bad example. But you could take Bain. You could take Tyson, the receiver out of Arizona State, who would fill a big hole out there, especially if they decide not to long-term Olave, which I kind of hope they don't. And some more of this money comes off the books next year. If you don't go crazy with any of these things, now you're starting to be able to, okay, I can see where you're going now. I don't have to reach for a quarterback. I can bring Shuck back as your starter next year, give him a full go, full training camp, full off season, full everything. They're not going through a coaching change, not going through staff changes. Maybe bring in a veteran to sit behind him next year, maybe somebody who could guide him a little bit. Nothing against Spencer Rattler, but maybe somebody who's been a starter in the league. You bring them in, and now you can start to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. These last 4 games, I'm with you though. You got the Jets and the Titans are 2 of these games. Well, those are eminently winnable games. If you end up winning those games, you probably end up pushing yourself behind both of those teams in the draft. They're already behind the Titans, and they're tied with the Jets.
You think this was his best game?
I hate to be result-oriented because they won the game, but this is their best win of the season by far, and I thought he played well.
Carolina?
Yeah, I think – and I know Carolina has now moved into a tie with Tampa Bay. I've thought of Tampa as the better team than the 2 for most of the season.
13 games in, Charlie. I mean,
they got the same record. Yeah.
I mean.
Do I think Tampa's a little bit better? Yes, than Carolina.
What about defensively?
It's close. I like the Tampa quarterback. I don't think Mayfield's playing great right now, but I still like him better.
Shuck's not playing against the other offense. Shuck is performing against the other defense.
I think they're close.
Closer than the actual teams, huh? Because you put Tampa Bay a notch above.
Yeah, a little bit. I know they got the same record.
That's his only wins as a starter. Okay,
Carolina,
so both
Tampa.
on the road.
Okay.
But the offense against Tampa Bay yesterday had 260 yards. Against Carolina, 388.
Okay.
Passing the football, almost double against Carolina than Tampa Bay. 144 yesterday, 282. More TDs. 0 yesterday, 2 TD passes against Carolina.
Remind me, were they behind a lot of that game?
One more interception, 17-7. One more interception. And yesterday, 0 against Carolina. Across the board, offensive production, they only scored 17 against, but passing, he did more with his legs in this game. Well, what's more? What do you evaluate more? You're evaluating his arm.
His arm, yeah.
Legs.
I don't want him running a whole lot.
Right. So statistically, you can't deny he had a better day passing production-wise against Carolina than Tampa Bay.
He did. The numbers are what they are. I thought yesterday was – I came away feeling better about him yesterday more than I
asked
did.
Mike Delicano yesterday, what is he right now? And he said, right now, I think they're set on, he's the guy. Yeah. And so I'll continue to let him play and continue to see if he develops. But you can't deny he took a step toward him being their guy yesterday.
Yes.
We're not going to overreact and throw him size him for his yellow jacket. I mean.
When they beat Carolina, I was really steamed because I'm like, they need the number one pick so they can take – now I'm not like, okay, maybe they don't have to have a quarterback. Maybe they don't have to.
They might not. They might not. Don't forget our friends, Dana Brown, downtown Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Had somebody, a friend, who said they got injured at work, and they, wanted to know if they, had a case. I said, call them up, tell them your situation. They'll give you an evaluation, and let you know if you have a case or not. Took advantage, cleared his head. I won't divulge any more than that, but now he knows, he feels better about this. It's kind of the uncertainty. It's kind of like Lane Kiffin letting you dangle in the wind. No, you don't have that. You could go to Dana Brown's law office of O.C. Brown, and he'll create some clarity and give you some, let you know what direction, what exactly your position is. His team of specialized attorneys that Charlie and I have both used for different times at different stages of our lives got smashed in the car accident. Man, I don't know what I would have done through that whole process if it wasn't for Dana Brown and his law offices of O.C. Brown. 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Chris' Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
We're talking about Baylor. They have hired an athletic director. Doug McNamee is the new AD at Baylor. Dave Aranda's got a new boss. Monday Night Football tonight. Who you got?
Jalen Carter, that's the biggest deal there. I'm going to go with
out.
the Chargers at home. Yeah,
Chargers at home. Justin Herbert playing with a broken hand, but not his throwing hand, obviously. So a game at 7:15 tonight. Thanks to our friends here at Chris's Specialty Foods. Always enjoy our time here. Tomorrow we'll be at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. For Jimmy Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Henniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.